Thank you for staying with us. We are still delving deeper into the topic parenting during the coronavirus. Still with my guest, my beautiful guest here, right here. So we are going to continue with the discussion. Right now, the kids are at home, parents are at home. I don't think, since I was born, I've never experienced such a scenario where parents are not at work, schools are closed indefinitely. So maybe what are some of the activities we can engage our children so they don't be too idle?
The challenges are quite many, especially for those in town or estates. It's very hard to say these will be what they can do, because some of them may not even have enough space to play outside or even inside. And so I think the parent needed to look at what they have, because now that all of you may be in the house, sometimes space may be also a challenge. But if you have room, it's important that that room be used, to the fact that all of you can see what you can do together. I've realized that quite a number of parents have been saying that they have had very good time with the children now that they are learning from them, and they're also learning from the parents. You know, we've just gotten to use routine where mom and dad work, they are working, so they leave in the morning. The children maybe even earlier, because either they are waited, they have to go to school by the bus and all that. So you come back in the evening, it is, have you finished your homework? And mom is cooking, dad is maybe catching up with the TV and his work and all that. And so what happens? So you get into a routine that seems to be like, now you find yourself here, what do we do? I think one of the activities I found parents are doing, and it's not bad, is they are playing together. That is a play, E-A-L. Now you can have games to play together. It doesn't have to be very sensible for the adult, but if it makes the children feel like you're part of it, they're happy. Whether it is those ones of where you are using bottle tops, if it's snakes and the ladder, or even any games that you can invent even within the home, the children are really loving it, to the fact that they want it repeated every other day anyway. But for the parents, you realize that sometimes it's also good to give them also their own games to play. But that time is together. I believe also that also part of praying together now, where children can take turns. I've seen some families who are doing this. Each one of us is told to read a verse in the morning, and in the evening you share, whether it is the one in the elementary school or pre and all that, or the teenager, they are able to share just in brief details what exactly God talked to them. And in a way you realize that it's also helping to develop a family culture, and even also the family altar for many who have not been able to do it, because kila mtu, you have your own work, they are finding it. So I think one of the things is you can play together or pray together.
I think, Mary, as Dr. Gashohi has said, it's very challenging, especially for the parents who are living in congested areas, like in the slums. But let's not have an excuse that we cannot contain the children at home, because we can even improvise the devices that they can use to play with. I think when we were young, we have been brought up in the village. There are things that we used to do, like getting the bottle tops and playing drafts with them. A draft does not need a space. You only need a stool, in fact, and all of you are seated there and you're doing it, and make it as interesting as possible. You can even have a score sheet where you're competing who is the best in this game, and the children will really love that. And for the parents who live in their own compounds, it's a little bit easier, because the children can get outside as maybe they only live alone, so the question of social distance may not arise. And they can even do the skipping the rope. They can even do another game we used to do with where you make boxes, you try to throw maybe a stone and you keep on jumping. And that one will really make the day for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the teenager? Maybe the teenager might not be so interested in the games.
Yeah.
Maybe he or she might find it so like ni watoto sana. So what do you do about the teenager?
That's where the biggest challenge is, because these are young people who really look at what you're doing and they just wonder what really you're doing, and it's like to bring them out to participate. Sometimes they will come watch and just don't want to join in, even though as an adult you just get into that skipping rope. And but I've realized that if you give them the challenge to invent the game, just come up with something they can all do together, they're really happy. Somehow it's like you have acknowledged that they have a role. Other than making it and putting them in, they want to be the designer. And so I've realized sometimes they can do it. And another day with one of them came up with you know, how much you know. Now there is, I don't know what that game is done through the using the phone. You are supposed to, you can be asked some questions, you're told to get ready. So maybe the books of the Bible, and somebody is supposed to demonstrate so that you say it. If you don't know, you just take the phone up, it says pass, do like this, correct. So you're competing. How many you get right? Now at that time, because you're also involving in their logic, abstract, they feel good. Sometimes they see like these that do not involve intellect, like they are too low for them. Give them the chance to invent the games, and they will. Yeah.
What if they want to dwell so much into social media, they want to stay indoors with their phones? Yeah.
That's something that should be discouraged. But we cannot really like withdraw the phones from them. But it's good also to help them understand they can't be throughout in their phones, but also be the role model, because if we're all there, then they wonder why should they do. Then I think for the teenagers also possible to engage them in some work, like let's say if you're cooking and you're a mother, why not call your daughter? Maybe you've not had that time, even to board, but you can tell her, you know, tell her to help you cook, or show her something, like even knitting, or just let's see what you can do, or even fun doing something together. That is how to engage this teenager who may not like this low play, but when you engage her, but it's good to discourage, and not, mostly they would love to be in their rooms.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you go in, they think you're interfering with their privacy. Sometimes it's good just tell them, I'll give you one hour, be there. I want you asked to do something. So that 1 hour you call her, then you tell her, engage her. Then after you know you're through, she'll still go back. But I think keep drawing her out or him out so that he doesn't get into his own world. They can easily get depressed, especially the teen at this time. Yeah.
I think Daktari has said almost everything, and as she is saying, for the teenagers, most of them are in school. You can look for things that they can do. You can buy them past papers, or you tell them to do revision for the work they have covered, the work that they can manage. The other thing I have found it very interesting is knitting. Knitting, just get some wool and show them how you used to do it. Though it's difficult for them, even holding that crochet. It's really a challenge for them, but do it with them. When they see you doing your own and becoming big and very attractive, they also want to do it. And you can even come up with a session for discussing things within the families. But let's make sure we don't keep them out from their friends. Sometimes give them data, give them credit to talk with their friends so that they can be able to air out their issues, and at least to crack jokes and all that. But above everything else, don't do everything in the house. Let them cook, provide food for them, because again, when they stay idle, that's when they become too hungry, as you were saying that parents are complaining. But we as the breadwinners, let's organize ourselves in such a way there is food in the house for them. Because when you are anxious, you're stressed, and you are a child, and there is the food is not enough, it can really weigh them down.
And she says sometimes when they're idle, they eat a lot because they're just watching, and many, you know, just get that break. When there's a break, they just rush, get something, popcorns, or maybe there was something that had remained. If they come to the sitting room with it, and now they want it to, as it starts again, and then you'll find all the cups are in the sitting room, because as they come in, they don't take them back and all that. So somehow you have to really show them what they need to do. Because if you allow them now to eat and as much as they want, you sure know they will have a problem with weight. Because as we talk about the couch potatoes, now this is the time people can become the couch potatoes. There was a funny video in WhatsApp which was showing that what somebody was making fun how what would happen or what will become of us after this lockdown.
Lockdown happens.
Yes, if lockdown happens, where the cheetah is too full, cannot even run after the gazelle, and the giraffe goes to drink water and topples over because it's, and I'm wondering whether with our children will fit in the uniform they came home with, or even as parents, whether we will go back to buy new clothes because we no longer can fit in their clothes. I think it's also good. Now, yesterday, my son had me talking to Irene, and he's like, he said, now, Mom, what are you discussing about food? And he said, I'm going to tell all my children and apologize for them that if their parents have told them they are going to be taking one meal, now apologize to them that came from my mother. Now this the reason is they discussed, and we discussed together and agreed now that we are sitting here taking breakfast even sometimes at 10. Do we really have to start again cooking for lunch or what do we do? He says, Mom, it's all right, we can just take us, and then we take supper. So he said, no, but don't advocate for every child. And he said, I will apologize on behalf of all the children who are taking only one meal, because that must have come from my mother. No, that was my son. But anyway, it was out of fun, because I told them, sincerely, would you want to not to fit in your clothes after this? We now have to take care. If you are not going out, then realize all this food is not going to be used up. Yes.
Yeah, something else that I have found very interesting, and I was telling some ladies, friends of mine, I don't understand why parents complain that they are eating too much. I think what I have found working very well for me is that I buy what I can afford and keep it there. And out of whatever I have, the children come up with their menu. The problem comes when it is you want to do the cooking, you want them to eat what you yourself want. If it is rice, keep it there, beans, unga gano, mafuta, and everything, eggs, you will find them coming up with a menu that is very cheap, and they will really appreciate about it. So and you keep on moving.
What you're saying is it's good to consult them what they want to eat.
Yes, yes. But again, within your limits. Yeah.
Okay. So I can see time is really winding up. So maybe looking at that camera, you can share your tips for healthy parenting. Maybe you can share with a parent out there who is watching.
I believe that each one of us is getting challenged right now and coming up with what is workable at your own place. Now look at what you have as a parent, the environment, and see what can be useful and applicable for your child. If a child is, maybe the age of a child also will determine what to involve them in, because you may have that the preschools, and you realize you may find yourself always being there because they can't play alone, they cannot handle some of the things alone, and at home you'll find you may be part of their game every other time. But those that are in school, that is primary and all that. Those children, you can give them some assignment, their homework, and also you can also be able to help where you can. Now, the teenagers can be more on their own, but also give them expectations, give them some chores that they can do, but this is within what they can be able to do. From there, please also give them time also to be with themselves alone, but also to play also. If possible, at the end of the day, sum it up by trying to address their anxieties and pray together and give them the assurance from the Word of God. Thank you.
I think I would like to ask the parents to give children predictability and stability so that our children will not be anxious. Let each parent find out what works best for your family, not for another family, for your family, to avoid stress, and let us assure our children that we are going to pull through. We are going to make it. This is not the end of the world. But above everything else, let us observe all the health guidelines that we are getting from our government and our healthy personnel so that we can avoid infection.
Well, there you have it. Make sure you invent a game. You can knit, as they have suggested. You can cook together, and above all, wash your hands, sanitize, and stay safe. Thank you for watching. I've been your host, Mary M. Muturi. Till next time, goodbye.